Are you struggling to configure both GET and POST requests in a single method using Spring MVC? You're not alone. This is a common challenge for many developers, and today we're going to unravel this mystery together. I totally get it. It can be incredibly frustrating when your code doesn't behave as expected. You write what seems like a straightforward method, and yet POST requests lead to empty objects. Sound familiar? You're in the right place. Here's the specific question we're addressing today. One user asked, is it possible to use both GET and POST in the same method if a bean is used as input parameters? They shared their code, which looks like this. Let's take a closer look. So, what's happening here? When the method is set up like this, the POST request doesn't bind the parameters correctly, leading to an empty myRec object. But if you switch to using @requestBody, the POST works, but the GET fails. It's a tricky situation. Stay tuned. By the end of this video, I'll share a solution that will allow you to handle both GET and POST requests seamlessly. You won't want to miss it. To address the user's issue, we need to modify the method to handle both GET and POST requests correctly. First, let's ensure that the method can accept parameters from both types of requests. Next, the user should differentiate how the parameters are received based on the request type. For GET requests, parameters can be passed as query parameters, while for POST requests, they should be in the request body. Now, the user should ensure that the myRec class is set up to handle both types of input. This means defining the necessary fields and validation annotations. Finally, the user can test both endpoints to confirm that they are working as expected. They can use tools like Postman to send GET and POST requests to the same URL. Fun fact, did you know that the first web server was created in 1990? It was a simple program, but it laid the groundwork for everything we do today. Just like coding, it all starts with a solid foundation. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach shared by another user involves using the @model attribute annotation. They suggest defining a method that handles both GET and POST requests by mapping them to the same endpoint. For the GET request to work, the POJO must contain attributes that match the request parameters. For example, if your URL is /test parameter1 equals blah, your POJO should have a parameter1 field. That's it for that answer. Let's take a look at another one. An alternative approach shared by another user involves separating the GET and POST methods. They suggest creating a GET method that accepts the request object directly, while the POST method uses the @requestBody annotation. The POST method then calls the GET method, passing the same request object. Here's the pro tip. Always consider the context of your requests. Understanding when to use GET versus POST can save you a lot of headaches down the line. Keep this in mind as you code. And there you have it. With these adjustments, you should be able to handle both GET and POST requests in your Spring MVC application without any issues. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks.